Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, I'm doing this a little later than I anticipated, but that's okay. Trusting the flow of life. For those that work with me, you know Emmy, and she was here with me for days over Lionsgate, and we had the best time. And I'm just really reflecting on how important it is to have sisterhood and to have friendships and relationships and communion with magical women who see you and know you and understand you. And I feel like I can breathe again after being in her presence is just like the greatest gift. So I've been doing a lot of reflection around letting go. And if you've worked with me before, you've heard me say this. Eclipse portals are these 2 week periods of time that we get twice a year that are really asking us to slow down and notice. The veil between realities is super thin. Um, and what ends up happening is a lot tends to rise up from under the surface or from other realities or from the other side that comes to pay visit, to show up, to be seen, to be witnessed by you on your soul's evolutionary journey. And I always recommend not having huge reactions. I mean, react, move, breathe, sound as things are coming up, of course, but in regards to big reactions like making giant changes or shifts, I really recommend in these eclipse windows to really just invite a slowness and a softening and a witnessing that is maybe more on the gentler side. Because what's going to end up happening is after the portal closes, it's going to open on the 12th of August. It's going to close around the 27th, 28th, depending on your time zone. And when it closes, we're opening into then 6 months for you to integrate. So, a lot of times, what shows up in these 2 week windows is an invitation to let go of something and to receive something. Now, I want to kind of just tell a bit of a story because it feels super alive, and I want to keep this not heady, especially because it's like a very intense time. I mean, across the board, everybody I'm talking to right now is facing grief and loss in some way. And me personally, in the last month and a half here, my beloved dog, who is young still, was diagnosed with lymphoma. And it has broken me for real. I thought she would grow up with Forrest. I thought we would have her for years still. And so to be in this period of time where we aren't treating it, she's just on a medication to keep her comfortable, has been devastating, totally shattering of what I thought life was going to look like. And shattering because she's totally my emotional support. Like she's just my girl. And the way that she came in for me in a period of time where I really needed her, and the way that she's exiting now, all of it is super, super profound. She literally was born 6 days after I had a miscarriage, and Forrest is now almost 10 months old. And for her to be making her soul exit, like she got me through the space of 7 years in between babies. And it's profound. That was her soul mission, and she's doing it. And I don't know how much time I have left with her. It could be months, it could be more than that, it could be weeks. What I've really been reflecting on in this period of time is that one, I mean, I say it over and over, this cycle of life on earth and what we have said yes to is a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And when we're in a period when we can feel that there's this rumbling of change, and this is kind of what I'm getting at, days before her diagnosis, right on the other side of the fence in my backyard, something big died. I think it was a deer. And there were six vultures and two eagles that were feasting on the flesh of this being for days. And I was watching them and I could feel that there was something symbolic in it for me. And I could instantly feel myself resisting, like, I don't want anything to happen, of course, to any of my beloveds. I don't want to have to face death in whatever way that looks. And then for her to get this diagnosis and to have, I mean, the first days and couple of weeks, like I cried and cried and cried. And in the middle of still having waves where I feel like life has betrayed me. This was something's wrong. This wasn't supposed to be how it went down. And yet, what's so beautiful about all of this is that there is this sobering presence that is lingering in our home because it's like, sometimes when we're lost in just like the busyness or the mundane or just like the day to day, we can lose the sacredness of this moment, this present moment. And what this is doing inside of me is it's calling me back to presence because these are the most sacred days with her as she is in this slow transition off of this earth plane and me holding space for her in her day to day and some of the days being where I can feel she doesn't feel well and then other days she feels like herself. It's like I'm walking her on this threshold of home, right? And just 10 months ago, I was in this birth portal of like literally giving birth and the razor thin edge that is life and death. I mean, it's almost the same point in space. It's almost the same point in our soul stories when we hit these moments where something's dying and something's being reborn. Now, I'm going into all of this detail because I have been getting wind of so many different stories and different beings in my world who are having to encounter this theme of death. And some of it looking like physical, like losing an important person in their life, and some of it looking like a death of an identity, a death of an old story, a death of a dream, a death to this, maybe just like a way we thought life was going to look and it looking not like that at all. What's interesting about this eclipse as it opens is it's sun and moon in Leo at 20 Leo, but Jupiter is also in Leo and Jupiter is a gift giver. He's a great benefic. He's a great teacher. He comes in with gift. But this is really what I'm wanting to hone in on as we're tuning into the 2 weeks. Is that oftentimes we are holding on really tightly, sometimes tighter than we realize, to what we think we want, what we think we need, what we think life is supposed to look like or be like. And when Jupiter comes along, there is actually this invitation to let go of what we think, of what we hope for, of what we're dreaming for. And it doesn't mean like let it go and um and completely distance ourselves from it, but there is this element of surrendering, and you can note it in your body. When I hit the moment finally, when I stopped resisting, that something, especially like if I'm thinking of this scenario with River, my dog, there came this moment in my body where I finally was just like, okay. And I let the reality of what was actually here, which is that she has a cancer diagnosis and is not going to be here for as long as I thought. Once I just said yes and I opened my hands and I received the reality of that, I came into a coherence and a peace in my body that brought me to the full present. And the thing about joy and bliss and ecstasy and all of the things that we want to be feeling all the time, the more desirable emotions, is that we cannot actually feel the depth of the range of what it is to be in joy, what it is to be in ecstasy, what it is to be in bliss. If we have not met the depth of what it means to be in grief and rage and betrayal and loss, and especially in this with River, I'm losing and I'm feeling so much grief around the the passing of this beloved pet because I've allowed myself to feel the depth of love for her. It's both and. So with the eclipse in the Leo part of our charts and in the Leo part of our sky, and I talked on this in the last video, Leo is getting us in tune with our hearts and with what is authentically there. Leo, when it's wounded, feels like it wants to be seen and it'll shine. And a lot of times it'll just kind of like function in this everybody see me, or this is my identity, or this is like what I look like. Or sometimes it's even, it can feel like the fear. I'm sure you felt this. I feel this a lot. The fear of being seen. So there's a terrifying to be seen and to be seen in what actually is true and authentic to our hearts. And that's part of where the polarity of Leo and the Aquarius bravery to be different, to be, to allow the liberation of our uniqueness to just be here in its fullest. Like that is what's kind of getting at us in this process. And so if I take this scenario with River, what this has done for me in my sight, and you know what I mean by sight, like my seeing, the gift of my third eye, the gift of being able to read the signs and the symbols, to commune with the other side, to guides that are there that will be ushering her in, and to root all of that into this earth reality too at the same time. It's so, it's the whole deal. It's why we're here. It's what we're doing, especially us that are seers and that are healers and that are walking constantly in the earth reality, but connected to the other side. So I say all of this to say, I have this sense that in this eclipse window, we're going to get invitations to really see one, who we are in our uniqueness, and some of these gifts that maybe we've been afraid of and they've been latent because we don't even know what it means to really let myself see and know and be who I am in the world. Like that feels scary. And yet to play with this theme that I'm feeling here around, can I just continue to open my hands and let go of any expected outcome? And can I fuse myself with this present moment so fully that I'm just walking in a living coherence between realities, between dimensions, between my inner world and my outer world, between the as above, so below, all the while aware that I'm connected to my soul, to my essence, to come into that peace and the coherence with who I really am and move through the world in that space, seeing, feeling, breathing, allowing. Because the thing about this is, as devastating as this has been with her and walking this and coming into the reality of what this is going to look like and how different this is than I thought, I am feeling myself expand in the definition of mother as well through this period of time. And there have been gifts upon gifts upon gifts that are flooding in clarity internally and out, in feeling that I am actually being so held and cared for by life, even though there is this part of me that's also really having to feel like I feel betrayed by life that this would even be the way this is going down. And then to come into the center knowing that actually, like, her soul mission is completing. And there's so much beauty in the reality of who she has been for me and who she is and who I will continue to be after she's gone. It's really profound. And eclipses bring up these really deep themes. So, wherever this is finding you in your life, I encourage you under this eclipse portal to really let yourself feel, where am I holding? Where do I feel like I'm needing to control? Where do I have my claws in? Where am I feeling the worry and the anxiety? And where can I, even just a tiny bit, open my hands, soften, be in the letting, be in the allowing of what is. And then in that space, allowing Jupiter to bring in clarity around your heart, what you're here creating, what you're here doing, who you're here being, and let the gift of who you are meet you in the expansion of this becoming. So there may look like there are some changes that you're feeling. That is a huge theme I'm noticing, that there's this change that's looming, but it's still like we're not totally sure what it looks like. And so all that's required is the day-to-day softening enough to find coherence with the present moment and you inside of yourself, and just taking your next baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step. Aware of the signs, aware of the symbols, aware of the synchronicities, marking them, owning them as real and true, because you are a seer. And your sight is just clarifying through all of this. And let's just frame it as we close here in the grandiose scale of what is happening on our planet at this time is the shift of a warring consciousness and a patriarchal order that is dying and being replaced with a feminine wisdom. So you are doing that by every single day, softening the parts that are afraid, moving, breathing, sounding, coming into coherence with the present moment, and allowing what you're seeing and intuiting and knowing to really actually be your anchor and to guide you. So many blessings in this eclipse portal. My heart's with you. Let's let it happen. Let's let it happen. Okay. Mwah. Deep love. Bye for now.